Hi everyone, welcome once again to our today's video. So today we are going to share with you about education in South Sudan, Boma.
Yes, so our first missionaries who went to Boma in 2004 came up with education as one of the 5 main initiatives that we would undertake in Boma. And they were right to do so because generally Africa has one of the lowest literacy rates in the world. We're talking about millions of people who are denied access to an education that can enable them to satisfy their capacity for intellectual development, an education that can equip them with the necessary knowledge and skill set needed to cope and to compete with the scientific and technological advancements of the 21st century world. And the situation in South Sudan is even worse than in the rest of Africa because of the decades of fighting and unrest that have ravaged this beautiful nation. And so we have recognized that the single most powerful agent of change is education. It is the only thing that can bring about positive cultural and mental change for the people. And when we talk about education, we simply mean the assimilation of a new mode of thinking. We're talking about an education that widens a person's understanding of the world. We're talking about an education that introduces a rational view of the physical environment. And we're also talking about an education that introduces a logical and rational thinking process that can enable people to solve their society's problems, their own problems, to seek answers to their own problems, and to better the environment. And so we as C partners have decided to invest in the future of this country by educating their children. And we run a school in Upper Boma called Faith Learning Center, and maybe you can tell us about the school.
Well, C Partners started a school in the year 2006 by the name Faith Learning Center. And it was quite challenging for the first missionaries at that time because they had to gather all school-going children aged 3 years and above in one classroom. But through God's favor, C Partners started building a school in the same year. And since our funds are limited, we are yet to finish all the classrooms. Currently, we have 8 of them, but we need like 10 of them. So in South Sudan, they have 2 curriculums. One is which they have this accelerated learning program for older people aged 18 years and above, whereby the learners only spend 4 years in primary school. And the other one is the 844 system one, and it is the one that we are using in Faith Learning Center, whereby the learners spend 3 years in preschool, 8 years in primary, 4 years in high school, and 4 years in college. So the school population fluctuates between 50 to over 300 pupils depending on the prevailing conditions like hunger and peace. And this has forced us to seek partnerships with other organizations like UNICEF and WFP. UNICEF supports us with scholastic materials, while WFP supports us with food for the school. But these organizations are not reliable because the last time we received anything from them was in 2016. So we as C Partners, we fundraise to raise money in order to buy school materials and food for the school. This encourages the learners to always attend school without fail, and also it discourages their parents from migration.
So God has been gracious to us, and we have had so many proud moments in Boma. But I will just mention the top 5 that I can remember off head. Maybe you'll add another achievement which you can think of. So I'll start by the teacher training program. It's a program that we have in Boma where we just take people from the community, and we train them as teachers in the school. They become part of our staff members, and some of the professional teachers that we have from Kenya, they train them in how to teach, and this is really very effective in our ministry, because it not only helps them to understand exactly why we are in Boma, but it also makes them to have a first-hand experience in teaching their children and in participating in what we are doing in Boma. And this has been very good, because we have seen so many positive cases. For example, right now the acting commissioner in Boma and his deputy, the executive director, have been recipients of this training program in our school. One of them has been our teacher there, and both of them have been practicing pastors in our church in Upper Boma for so many years. So we really see that as a very good program. Another one I would say is the cross-border program. This is a program where we take the grade 8 pupils from Boma, and then they continue their education in Kitale in Kenya. And so far we have 16 pupils in Kenya, and they are doing very great in their studies, because their background in Boma has been very tough and harsh for them, because they rarely finish a year. We rarely finish a year in Boma, by the way, before there are interruptions, the cattle raidings and the tribal warfare, and so many other. Sometimes it's just hunger. People just don't attend school through the 3 terms in a year. And when they come to Kenya here, they find that school is more interesting, more equipped, better teachers, and all of this. So they have been really performing well in this peaceful environment in Kenya. So we are really proud of them, and we thank you for the continued support in enabling them to continue their education in Kenya. Another program which we have, the third one, I would say, is the farming program. We have a school farm, and we engage our pupils in cultivation and teaching them new methods of farming, and we encourage their the practical application in the village. So we have so many pupils, some big boys who have farms in the villages, and this really supplements the food that they produce for their families at home, and we are really proud of them. And we also support them by giving them seeds, and as I say, teaching them new methods of farming that are better than the traditional farming methods. So we are really proud. I'm really proud of that also. And then the fourth one. The fourth one is the church ministry that we do with the pupils in school. Again, more than 10 pupils have been baptized and have been saved, and they are very active in the church ministry. Most of them are the translators in the church. They teach the Sunday school children, and some of them are even, like deacons. We appoint some of them as deacons, pastors to be, sort of. And they are really doing a good work. You should come and see them doing their best. We believe some of them are going to be great ministers of the Word of God in future. So that's also one very proud thing for us. The last one, the fifth one now, there's a program we started last year when we received the tractors, and we have trained a number of boys. They know how to drive the tractors now, and we're planning to even start teaching them now basic mechanics, so that they can repair even tractors and other small engines, so that in case anything happens to them, they'll have at least another extra vocational skill that they can use in their lives. It's also a program that can be used to test the talents. Maybe some are talented in that particular area. It's good to know their talents early. Yeah. So I think those are my top 5. You can add maybe another one.
I'll add on girls' education. We have really encouraged girls to attend and stay in school despite the pressure from their parents to marry them off. You see, in Boma, girls are booked and married off when they are as young as 9 years old. So only boys are the ones who are only encouraged to go to school. You see, and in our first class, in 2006, we managed to teach 3 girls all the way to grade 7, and we really thank God for it, because it's really motivated so many other girls to also attend school. And currently, as we speak, we have 6 girls in Kenya. 4 of them are in high school and 2 of them are in primary school.
Bye.